Our problem with China is a problem with ourselves. Nothing that China does is effective unless we make it so. And we've made it so. Taking our industry over there and we're letting them buy up housing here. And we're very worried about it. We don't have any industry in the United States. Ah, you're lying, you say. We got plenty of industry. We got automakers. Mr. Biden just signed some kind of chip deal. Well, too little, too late. Far too little, far too late. If the past few years of bottlenecks in the supply chain haven't taught you the lesson, nothing will. And yet we keep externalizing the problem. We got to go after the Chinese. We got to contain them. We got to contain the Russians. We got to be the world policeman, because that's worked so well for the past few decades. Rather than creating robust programs here at home, rather than not having people's homes taken away just because they didn't pay their property tax, rather than thinking, why am I paying an income tax? You know, I'm not against taxation like a lot of these libertarians. The founders, the principles of this country, when they first started it, even before we had the Constitution, they weren't yelling no taxation. They were yelling no taxation without representation. Well, we don't have representation today. So, what are we to do? We got to take steps to make sure we're represented. You know, the ballot box, that's all well and good. But you can't just rely on the politician once you get them into the office, because they have a lot of pressures on them. You got to stay informed. And you got to stop letting all sorts of the old tricks keep you from doing your duty as an American. I'm not trying to be at all preachy here. I'm not somebody that has anything to boast about. And I am absolutely guilty of everything that I am here addressing. Malaise, apathy, and feeling like somebody else is going to step up and do it. Even this, you know, putting the information out there, sure, it's a step. But really, there's not just steps that you take. It's an ongoing, lifelong process of participation in a democratic republic. It's not a democracy either. You know, we're all trying to run around spreading democracy. Democracy is ruled by the mob. It's where two wolves vote on what's for dinner. Cliches like that one, while annoying to hear, ring true. So, stop. Let's stop. Externalizing. Even externalizing within the internal body politic. It's communists. It's Republicans. It's the libertarians. It's the libtards. It's the conservatives. The Trumpers. You know, pointing fingers every which way is not going to work. There are basic principles that keep a place cohesive. And we have to all be beholden to those before we can get anywhere and still call ourselves American. And it's good to be American. You know, there's this plot of land, and there were a lot of faults to the way that our forebears did things. They weren't perfect, neither were the native populations here. It's part of the human story. But this vast swath of resources, coupled with the ideas of the Enlightenment, filtered through the experience of history, that's what we must work to preserve. And we're not going to preserve that by a belligerent foreign policy that both Washington and Eisenhower warned us about. Everything that's problematic about China that's causing us problems right now is due to our lack of ability to stand up and say no to these business interests, taking the business to China, taking the industry out of the United States. It really comes down to that. It really comes down to that. You've got to make things, you've got to have a base right here at home in every country. Then a true balance can arise. Certainly, you can specialize, but it is the continental United States. So, our specialization is really everything. This idea of globalization has proven that it cannot work. We need to come to terms with the reality of a multipolar world in order to become players that are efficacious for the good. I hope you all follow me. Cheers, and have a great time wherever time I find you.